I didn't start running because I wanted to be an Instagram influencer. I didn't get in running because I wanted to run marathons. I didn't get into running because I wanted to look cool on Strava. I didn't even honestly know what Strava was until I started running. I also didn't get into it because it wasn't in my blood or I wasn't very good at it. What I realized was is that in my life I was figuratively and literally running away from pain and problems. As a 32-year-old dad of two, married, and running a business, I realized in order for me to get to where I want to be in life, is that I would have to literally and figuratively begin to run towards the pain and the problems that I was avoiding the most. And so that's why I'm talking to you all, the viewers that are watching this. And some of you are friends and family, and some people who don't even know who I am. And you've landed on this video because maybe you are a parent or a dad of two kids. Maybe you're a business owner. Maybe you're an ex athlete that's just trying to find your way in life. And maybe you've gotten off track a little bit. And that's what this is really all about is as I'm rebuilding myself, I'm building a brand and I want to share that with everyone. And if this is the first time that you have heard from me or know who I am, I'm not going to go down the deep, long laundry list of resume of what I used to be because really not that important. But I grew up in Montana. I ended up going on a wrestling scholarship to Arizona State University. I have the Uncle Rico story. Coulda, shoulda, would have been. I got injured, had four back surgeries, and I found my way tiptoeing through life to one day arrive safely at my grave until I found drugs and alcohol and barbiturates and all sorts of different crazy things that led me down a dark pathway for a little while until I felt that the light of God, or I was saved in a sense, and I got clean and sober going on 7 years now. In that 7 year time frame, I have owned and operated a number of different businesses. I now am married. I have two children. One is going to be 1 years old in February. The other is going to be three in March. And I now own and operate a life insurance agency that does fairly well with about 30 different active agents across the country. And so, as I'm sharing this, my life is not at the bottom of the barrel here. I'm not at rock bottom at all. I'm not even really at rock middle. What I realized a number of months ago before my 32nd birthday is I was sitting in my living room. Both of my kids were asleep. And I realized that I really wasn't giving my all. And there was something that had came up on the TV. It wasn't a BPN video. It wasn't a Nick Bear video. It really wasn't anything inspiring that made me decide, hey, you need to go for a run tonight because it was August. I'm born August 11th. This is 5 days before my birthday. And if you live in Arizona and you understand August, it's a terrible time to run, especially if it's going to be the first time running for 12 years, over a decade. I had four back surgeries. And now, don't get me wrong, I'm an occasional gym goer. I had built my way back to a 500 some plus pound deadlift and done a lot of great things within the gym. But the last thing that I had ever thought that I'd be doing would be tying my running shoes on and going for a run in 110-degree heat and barely making it back home. And so I wasn't thinking that I'd ever even be recording this. And I feel that sometimes in life, the best things in life are organic. And so, what I want to share with you all is want to promote that things don't have to be what you expect them or what you plan them to be. You can make pivots, adjustments, and changes. And your level of honesty about where you're at in life is going to dictate your direction. And so that's where I'm at. I'm just a washed up dad of two who made a decision to get back in the fight and metaphorically, because I speak in metaphors a lot, is to get back in the saddle. And that's where Buckaroo Run Club comes. And this is really not about a product. This is not about a company. This is not about buying into whatever that we have to sell you here. This is about sharing the embarrassing truths of what I felt like it was to be so out of shape that after the second run, I was 2 blocks over, laying in the grass, cars going past me under this tree, not knowing that I could walk home. Too afraid to text my wife or embarrassed to text my wife because I knew that my daughter was taking a nap and no way in heck was my wife ever going to be able to leave the house. So I was either going to lay there for the next half hour, 45 minutes or an hour until my daughter woke up or I was going to walk my out of shape butt home. And I walked my out of shape butt home, and I got home and I had a real deep internal conversation with myself and said, Josh, you're just not giving enough. You're not being your best self. And that didn't mean that I needed to go be a marathon runner or go run 50 or 100 miles. It just meant that I was running away from the pain. And so, as I've built brands in the past, I have led teams and companies, and I've done some notable things, especially within the last 3 to 4 years. But now I'm starting over from scratch and I'm doing something new. I'm not a good runner. I'm not really in that phenomenal of shape. I'm not your sub 3 hour guy right now. I'm not a 230 guy. I'm not a high rocks athlete. I'm just a dad of two kids that picked up something new and is committing to the process. And that's what I really want to share with the individuals is that you don't have to be great to start, and you don't even have to start to be great. I don't even want to be great. I just want to be the best that I can be. My brother-in-law shared this with me the other day, is that we overestimate what we can do in the short term and underestimate what we can do in the long term. And I'm like, dang, isn't running the biggest metaphor for that? Isn't life, fatherhood, marriage, business the greatest metaphor for all of those things? Can't you take that principle and apply it to everything that we have going on? So this isn't a sales pitch. This isn't even motivation or fucking me sharing the ins and outs of something. It's more or less me being able to get real with you, get real with you and show you what it's like to rebuild yourself, to grow as a man, as a father, because I'm telling you what, man, the world is crazy. I never thought that I'd be 32, dad at 2, but here I am. And how awesome that it is to be in this position with all this stuff going on. And so I don't have anything big planned. There's no big promise. I'm going to be checking in weekly. If you resonate with what I'm sharing week after week, awesome. Tune in, share with a friend, a family member, somebody that you love. If not, it's all good. I don't have any sponsored ads I don't have any sponsored ads. I don't have any taglines. I don't have any call to actions for you. This is just really raw grit. And I want to share with you what's going on from my perspective, week in and week out, as a dad, father, business owner, somebody who's starting something new. I run my first half marathon I have on Sunday. I'll be checking in next Monday to let you know how that goes. Now, I'm not putting pressure on myself because I already know what that could potentially do for me. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to show up on Sunday. I'm going to let it all fly and I'm going to have a lot of fun. And I'll share with you the outcome of that next week. So if this is something that you can resonate with, get down with, and you feel pulled to hear me share the struggles and the triumphs of being a dad, a father, and a business builder, because I'm going to be sharing the insides and outs of building a business, what it looks like on paper, profitability margins, the struggles, the processes, the procedures of building a brand from scratch. I owned and operated a supplement company with my father for 7 years. I'm taking another stab at that industry, but taking it in a completely different direction. It's never too late to pivot. It's never too late to change. And I want to share that with you all because evolution is necessary for all of us in today's world. So appreciate you stopping through. Subscribe, comment what you'd like me to talk about. But to be honest with you, I'm just going to shoot the shit with y'all every week. Peace out.